conversation. And when I say delicate, I mean it's very delicate. So here's the thing. Last week we did have conversations about children, the number of children. It was quite interesting, to hear your perspectives on how times have changed and how people are opting for smaller family sizes and all. Now, amidst that conversation, one of our friends sent us a message. And I need to get that name, Mirabel. I need to get our friend's name who sent us this message. I'll share the message with you. I'll share the message with you as is, and then I'll tell you what exactly I want us to talk about. He says, Lexis, I impregnated a girl at the age of 19 at SHS 2. I continued to do another girl same. Now, my firstborn is 33, 32. I have 20, 25, and 17. My last is in SHS. I am proud when walking with my kids. I'm proud of my kids. Now all of them are working except the SHS girl. So to give birth early in those days was shameful, but blessings today. Honestly, I would not born to self in these days. And this was his message in response to the number of children that people have and people want to have. He has 5, and he actually talked about how his first 2 were when he was probably very, very young, at the age of 19. He impregnated somebody in SHS 2. So today I want us to open up a conversation that's real, that's raw, and deeply personal. Yeah. Let's talk about giving birth at an early age and everything that comes with it. Yeah. And like he rightly said in his message, back in the day, I mean, if you impregnated a girl at a very early age, it's quite shameful. It was shameful. I mean, most of those pregnancies were very unplanned. It even got worse for the women, because you're a student in SHS, you get pregnant, you probably have to drop out of school. I don't know about how it affected the men as well, but I know for the women, it came with very harsh challenges. You're 16, 17, 18, you get pregnant, you're still a student, your studies will have to be put on hold for a little bit. You have to now deal with motherhood, something very unplanned. You probably have your parents who might be there for you. Some really got kicked out of the house, and you took the intervention of others to get them back in the house and all of that. Let's talk about you. Have you had that experience, giving birth at an early age? At what age did it happen for you? How young were you when life took that unexpected turn? That is, if it was unexpected, because I think that some people also decided that they would get married early and probably have kids early. I don't know how early it is. For a lot of people, it was unbearable at that age. But like our friend who sent us the message, and Mirabel, let me just pull up the name. I think I got the name. Igwe from Apam. Okay, yeah. Now they look back at it, and it looks like a blessing, because he says his firstborn is now 33, there's 32, and he walks with them with pride. But underneath that pride, and of course, throwing it back to when it happened, it wasn't something to be proud of, was it? Share yours with us. Give us a call. 0302216541. Did you give birth early? How did life change for you? How did it shift your world for better or probably for worse? Did it break you? Did it build you? Were there regrets? Did you lose yourself? Did you find a deeper part of who you are? Did you get support? Did you appreciate family even more? For those who've walked this journey, writing exams with a growing belly, feeling kicks while chasing grades, I mean, what was that like? Well, this is your moment. I'm curious about it. Well, your story could be the light someone else needs right now. I'm just thinking. Let's reflect together. Give me a call. 0302-216-541, or you can WhatsApp me on 055-1111-997. Hello?
Hello, Lexis.
Hi, Rookie.
Yeah, here once again.
How are you?
I'm well.
Nice.
So, Lexis, for me, I had my son when I was just about entering university. I would say I was young, but in my 20s. Let me say I was 22.
You were 22 at the time.
Yes.
Mm.
And when I found out, knowing the nature of my dad, like this, it took 2 years before my dad got to know I had given birth.
Oh, wow.
Because growing up, he told us that should any of his children get pregnant, that's the end of it.
Okay.
And I wanted education. The same time, I wanted the child. So I had to just go on campus, not come home, and keep the pregnancy and the child hidden for 2 good years. Even that, it took a family member who noticed and decided that we can't hide it forever, so let's tell him. And I tell you, he didn't want to see my son. Yeah. I had to involve an elderly person to speak to him. And by then I was in level 200.
Wow.
So he realizing the level I'd gotten to, he realized he can't stop catering for me. He had to continue. But it was tough.
Wow.
Because being on campus like this, he didn't know I was pregnant, so he sent me my feeding. And I had to survive on that with my pregnancy. Sleeping and like sometimes I go to bed without food, among other things. So sometimes when you get pregnant at a tender age, at the onset it's devastating. But now I look at my son and he's my joy. I literally do everything and go everywhere with him.
How old is he now?
He's 10.
Okay. But I'm curious how you were able to keep it away from your dad for 2 years. You were not going home at all.
I wasn't going home. And if you mind, mom got to know I had given birth, like, after I had given birth, she wasn't aware I was pregnant.
Even your mom?
Yes. The only
Wow.
person in my family who knew was my grandmother.
Wow.
I didn't have a belly, so even I left home for campus when I was almost 5 months, and no one noticed.
Wow.
But it was tough. But I can say it's all joy. Yes, and I'm happy I took that decision.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the biggest lesson that period taught you?
The biggest lesson it taught me is to know what you want and set your priorities right. Yes. If at that point, if my dad had found out I would lost my education, the same I would have probably not have my son.
Yeah.
And I've regretted it to now.
But now you have no regrets.
No, I don't. The only thing I regret, Lexis, is the kind of man I chose to have my son with. For that, I always regret. But aside that, I don't have any regret.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rookie.
Thank you.
All right. 0302216541. I'd love to know yours as well. How did that period change your life? That's quite a very touching story from Rookie there. Having a child at a very early age, unplanned, and with all its attendant challenges. But hey, how are you able to keep that secret for 2 good years? Wow. World's best kept secret. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, Lex.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Nice. What's your name?
My name is Nee.
All right, Nee. Let's hear you.
That's interesting, eh? So, I had a similar experience, 17, eh?
You're 17.
When I was 17,
Okay.
I had my first job. Sure. School, eh? They're not old system school.
Say that again?
Old school. The old school. Not O-level, A-level area.
Okay.
So, first year in sixth form, then it happened.
Okay.
I would like to say that my mother was very supportive.
Your mother was supportive.
Very, very.
In what ways?
So she took it up. Well, I was both telling my mom that, Mom, this is what has happened. So she told the old man, and the old man said he was going to flex with some lashes and some boxing and things.
He said he was going to do what?
He was going to just administer some lashes, some belting,
Uh-huh.
some boxing. However, old lady was able to cool him down.
Mm-hmm.
So old lady and old man called me one morning. They said, boy, you have done things that elderly people do. From now on, you are married.
Hmm.
So they had to bring their lady home,
Okay.
took care of both of us.
Oh, they brought the
We
lady
all
to
continued.
stay with you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So that is what he said. From now on, you're married. So right at that age, there were some basic customary things. And then that was it. Both families were happy, were schooling. My first son became the toast of my parents, and we lived happy. Because of that caution, we're still living. We are happily married up to now. We
Oh,
have 3 kids. We have grandchildren.
wow. Wow.
Yes, that's the
You're
story.
still married and
We
you
are
have
still
even
married.
have grandchildren.
Yes, because for me, I'm in my mid 50s,
Okay.
and I have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
The first, like, about 40.
The firstborn is how old?
Yeah, it's getting close to 40, so it should be 38 about.
Yeah, like 38.
Yeah, 38 about. Yeah.
And you're mid 50s.
And
Wow. I'm sure you are like brother. Is it a boy or girl?
you should watch us. We work together.
Is it male female?
2 male and a female.
No, I mean the first one, the first one.
Oh, the first one male. So we have to the first two. But the first one was male.
Okay, so I'm sure you are like brothers, like
Absolutely, absolutely.
wow.
But my mom was supportive.
Mm.
But yeah, I know you're going to ask me for less.
Mm.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is not advisable you go that way.
Right.
We advise you. I had it easy because my mother stood strongly behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And she was prepared, and she even did all that she could do to take care of everybody. So, like the lady side, what are you going to complain about? Life goes on. We are
Yeah.
not giving her any responsibilities. We are taking care of our thing, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So,
Well, interesting story there, Nee. Thank you so much for sharing, yeah?
sure.
All right. Wow. It turned out beautifully in the end. Well, give me a call, 0302-216-541, or you can WhatsApp me on 055-1111-997. Two very interesting stories that we've learned today. Nee's story is quite interesting as well. I mean, you're mid 50s and your first child is almost 40. It's like your body right there, you know? Yeah. I mean, it's going to really look cool. But I can imagine the challenges in the beginning. Well, let's hear you. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you?
I'm okay, Della.
Ladies, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank God.
Let's hear you.
It wasn't easy. I got pregnant around 25. Someone would think at that age you are grown, but I just started working by then. But when I was posted to the central region, nobody there, no mother, no father. And the man didn't want to accept it. So he even wanted me to do abortion. So I used the money to go and do health insurance so that in hard times I can be covered by the health insurance. Lexis, when I go to the hospital for antenatal and I'm giving medicine, I have to wait for the month to end for me to take my salary before I can buy the medicine. If I have to go to the lab, the same thing. If you even have to give me 10 CDs to buy something, the insult I'll receive wasn't small. But the lady who called before the guy said something that it was a happy ending. Now I'm happy because that boy gives me joy, happiness, everything. It is very difficult to take care of a child alone, but there's a brighter end. That's all I would say.
Okay.
But I will not advise anyone to do that. Like, if sometimes even if you are married, it happens. So it's only the grace that sees through. You can be married to a man, but the man will not be supportive. Look, the mother even if came and the cases, the first wife took me to Juju. I heard a whole lot, but in all, we give thanks.
We give
He's
thanks to
18
God.
now. Some people say that he has even made me look shorter because when we are walking, he's taller than me.
Wow.
Yes, it's very lovely when I'm home with him, but when he goes to school, then I become lonely because
Right.
it's my everything.
Yeah.
Mm,
It is
but
well.
there's a happy ending.
Yeah.
Just pray for grace. He'll be writing this year, and I just pray that he come out successfully.
I pray he does. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Thank you so much for sharing, Della.
Welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, Lexis.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Oh, good. Sally Collins this.
All right, Collins. Talk to me.
So, first, I want the young ones to listen. Because me, I know your channel. A lot of young ones listen. This is not people who choose to do this thing. So don't go and choose to get pregnant and tell us that they're happy. But at the end of the day, these are people that life happened to them. By mistake or something, they fell into this line. And you know, more casano, chairman. You know, I can't say easy. And here by Jimmy and those times are now you bought nothing, you know. I'm come say easy. And then the pampers. You see, they are young 1 year. They are taking to school. Please, school. Go to school because we are not doing this program for you to think having children at early age is the best option. No, I don't think that's what Lexis is doing, and we don't do that. We are begging you, but when it happens to you, don't go and abort and die. Go through the thing and learn sense. If pampers, you can't say nothing for now. You hold nothing. You have to almost see any easier. Pampers are touching any easy. Yes, because listening to them, I'm even sad. And me, my firstborn is 7 years. I'm sure, and my uncle cries up. But on the real, we are begging them. We are begging the young ones. Young ones still.
Yeah.
Young ones still pass in patcho. Yeah, can young retreat fast and they say a palmucho. And your lifestyle. Oh, my no papa, if you open your money, that's all. Uncle Father, and then if you say be a very happy ending. Do one in a bit to me from the car, Yom Kum. Oh, to me, can in your radio show, Chairman, you know, if you speak off for air talk.
Yeah.
If you speak happy ending alone. And happy ending, you always start with sad beginning. That's why we have happy ending. If it's not sad in the beginning, you will have said happy throughout.
Yeah.
I depend them. Make
Collins.
them go school.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, make them go
Thank
school.
you. Thank you so much for sharing this. Yeah? All right, I totally agree with Collins. Yeah, I mean, we're not encouraging you to have children early. That's not really the purpose of this conversation. So if you're young and you're going to school, please stay away from such immoral acts until the time is right. Yeah. All right, let's see who's here. Hello.
Hello?
Hi. How are you?
Very well. This is Regina.
Regina, welcome. Let's hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting and some of us is a very, very, very precious story.
Hmm.
I had mine when I was around 14 to 15.
Okay.
I actually didn't know anything called pregnancy, but I got myself into it. And my grandmother was so supportive. My family were there for me. And so I had my baby. I had to continue with my colleagues at JSS 2. JSS 2.
So you were in JSS when it happened?
Yes, when we were going to JSS 2, then it happened. So I kept their pace. I didn't repeat. I joined them. And so I had to go to school, come back, come and prepare baby things down, food and everything, and then next morning go to school. Sometimes you're in class and you can see breast milk all coming out. And then some of my colleagues knew, some didn't know, but because I looked like there was nothing happening. I had a thin body and all that. But it's not been easy. The guy didn't show up. I had to do it all through my uncle, my mom. And then after I had to do my SS, then I did my university. So I was at alongside looking after my son. At a point, I had to take him to my mother in Accra. Then I was in Kumasi. Then I had to continue when I started work. Thankfully, I had to get a good job through my stepdad. And then it's been single me all throughout, and thanks be to God, now he's done with university. He's now a captain, military man. He's a captain.
Oh, wow.
He's 30 years now, yeah.
Wow.
And when I tell people, this is my son, they're like, oh, you are just around 30. Have you ever given birth before? And I'm like, whatever. So, early stages, it kept me from even entering into very committed relationship because guys were like, born 1 4 years. So when I see guys that I'm so interested, I stay away because when I know when they get to know I have a son, they obviously leave me. So there were some precious relationships I have to stay away from.
Wow.
But through it all, it's really made me very, very dependent, focused, and I can say I've been married once. It didn't work. I had to come out and all that. But it doesn't make life issues shake me that much because some of the things I had to learn on my own, do on my own. I talk to my son on my own. And he tells me he needs no dad, he needs nobody because I've been there.
Yeah.
And right now I'm even expecting my Asio. She's also like me, a banker. We move along and all that. So it's not been easy. If you don't get a supportive background, supportive family, you will do the worst. But what I'll say is, if it does happen like mine, I didn't know, and there's help. Don't go to the girl's side and get something bad done because you might never know if that's the only baby you have. In fact, I've actually not have any yet, but I know at 45 I can still add on. But I see that I needed to be there for my son through it and through it all. And wherever I go, I'm so proud, and he stands out.
That's
So
great.
just hope on God and do the right thing.
I'm just curious, my dear. The marriage that didn't work out, did the fact that you had a son play any role?
No. In fact, they were best of friends.
Okay.
They were best of friends. It's just got to do with this, cheating and all those kind of things. So
Okay.
they were best of friends. It never hindered that.
And what about now? Now, does it also affect your chances of landing somebody?
No, it doesn't, but it's actually made me to be very, having a little kind of spec on who I choose because, now I have a captain in my camp. I can't just go for just any man to kind of, excuse me to say, not accord me that respect because it's not been easy.
Now he
And
has.
now
He has.
when I'm coming like I have a son, I have a
Yeah.
grown-up son. He's this, and the person is like, wow, oh nice.
Yeah. He has raised the marking scheme for you.
Yes, and so I did for him. I spoke to him that, boy, I got you and you got me.
Yeah.
Let's move in our circles where we've gotten to our level. So when you're going for somebody, please be cautious of who to roll with. Because I have only you and you have me.
Great.
And it's been perfect. It's been perfect. I make sure he never keeps his relationship outside. Whoever he meets, I know.
Right.
So it's that kind of relationship.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was a very interesting story. I'm grateful that you shared it. God bless you.
Thank you too. It's good. I have to come all out. This is the first time I have to speak about it openly.
Wow.
Because up to now, people don't really know. They are like, all your brothers are told. So why are you singling out for him to know? He's not your son. Forget it. So at times, my mother even has to come in like, oh, remember you're 6.
Yeah.
So that they'll feel like, okay, it's true. But I now really insist they accept it as it is because that's the truth and I can't hide it anymore.
Thank you so much. We're grateful. We are happy that you shared the story with us today. Yeah? All right. There you go. It's 5 o'clock and Noella is here with the latest updates and news. Hello, Noella.
Hi, Lexis. And some spare parts dealers, I beg your pardon.